this meeting recorded. This is for anyone who wants to view this later on YouTube, or any parent that did not have this, didn't have the time to be able to do this. We want to be able to have them see essentially the information and everything we have going on. All right. If you join, please understand for some reason my everyone mute setting didn't work, and so you're coming in with sound, so I apologize. But anyways, welcome to the Rising Sixth Grade Accelerated Math Club. Welcome, future community house parents. Please note that this club is specifically for future community house students. That reason why is normally we have somewhere between anywhere from 70 to 120 kids that will try to join this club. In general, when we have the actual placement test, we have roughly 120 to 150 kids will take the placement test each year. Out of that group, we have roughly 30 will make it in the end. So let's start off tonight. Okay. So what is the club? The club is open to any rising sixth grader who will take math at community house. The big reason that I started this club, I want to say 5 or 6 years ago, is to expose students to higher level concepts. This club is free. I do this in my own time to provide a service to the community. I understand that certain private schools, or even schools like Metrolina or Randolph, will have those kind of advanced placements. And I know students try to get into those schools at a really young age, might not have that ability. And I am a big advocate of public school. And so I want to provide the opportunities that your students could get via either a private school or a charter school. We want to kind of have equal footing there. And I know that we have the community and support that wants to provide a strong math background to your students. And so I want to help make that happen. So it helps provide exposure to higher level math concepts. We are going to do this course in about 9 weeks, right? That's 9 weeks, 45 minutes per session. That is not a lot of time to kind of expose the amount of topics that I'm going to do, right? So part of the club is that exposure piece, but then you and your student need to work in your own time throughout the week to help kind of build up those understandings. I'm providing the framework. I need you all to help me kind of fill that out to create the best opportunity for your students. Just joining the club is not a guaranteed placement into the accelerated math. Community house is open enrollment, meaning if you want to get into sixth grade honors, your student can automatically select that. However, if they're trying to get into math 7 honors or math 1 as a sixth grader, they need to place into that. The course is going to be run on Tuesdays. It's going to provide this information to students, and at the end they'll take a placement test. If they score very well on the placement test, they can go into math 1. If they place well on the placement test, they can go into math 7 honors. Math 7 honors as a sixth grader means that the following year they are guaranteed to get into math 1, more or less. We always have an exception, but assuming your student is doing the work, they'll get placed into math 1 as 7th grade. If your student doesn't get into math 1 or math 7 honors, the following year in 6th grade, they are able to do the placement test again. And then if from there they score in, they're able to do math 1 in 7th grade, right? So if you're in math 7 honors, or as a 6th grader in honors, you can still take the placement test and get into math 1 as a 7th grader. So students will take a placement test at the end, and our honors course is 1 level up and our open access, no testing required. Okay, I think I covered that. So the goal is to expose your students to a rigorous math curriculum, provide accelerated math courses to students that align with their need. The big piece here is we want to make sure we understand that this is a part of their proper math placement, right? We are not trying to rush kids into math 1 or math 7 honors. We want to provide them with the opportunity to be able to get placed into math 1 that's appropriate for them, right? When I first came to Community House, we had only a couple of students that would be able to do math 1 in the 6th grade. And essentially what we ended up realizing is that the people that were able to do math 1 in the 6th grade or math 2 in the 7th grade, their parents had a very strong STEM background. They were working with their kids from beginning of, like their 5th grade year and really preparing them for this. We wanted to provide a more equitable pathway for everyone and just kind of let everyone get exposed, right? And if you and your student are able to kind of work through and kind of understand this material, then your student could potentially get into math 1. The big piece here, and what I need to stress fully, is that this needs to be very student driven. We never want, oh, you as a parent want your child to get into math 1, so you're pushing this. I've seen that happen a couple times, and it does not work out well for the student. They start not liking the subject. It ends up being a bad experience, and they start kind of, what was once a passion of theirs started to become something they're not looking forward to, right? So you need to really have constant conversations with your student to make sure this is something they want, and not just something they want because their friends are in it, something they want because they like the challenge, they like the subject, they're wanting to really go at this fast and rigorous pace. So why the club? Capacity versus what students have exposure to, right? Even if your student is in AIG, or even if they're not in AIG, they might not be exposed to a lot of these topics. We want to expose them to those topics so that way they have the ability to kind of know what to look into and what to learn, right? We want to create equal opportunity for all of our students going to Community House Middle School. We want students to take the math that is academically appropriate, whether that be 6th grade honors, 7th grade honors, or math 1. So let's talk about our math options. As a rising 6th grader, you can go into math 7 honors, which is going to really cover the 7th and 8th grade math. Math 1 honors, which is that high school kind of algebra 1 credit. If you have a student going through, math 1 is not new. It's been around for as long as I've been teaching in CMS. Or math 6 honors. This club is not needed for math 6 honors. Anyone can automatically enroll into math 6 honors. So math 7 honors, if we have over 25 students, this will be taught by a 6th grade teacher in the 6th grade. If we have over 35, some will be in 6th grade, some will be in 7th grade. And once they're on the math 7 path, they can get off by repeating it the following year. So if we have a student misplaced and they're in math 7 honors and essentially realizing that it's not appropriate for them to take math 1 as a 7th grader, they can just take math 7 honors again in their 7th grade year. Most students who are on math 7 honors as a 6th grader are likely going to take math 1 as a 7th grader. About math 1, if we have over 25 students, it will be taught by a 6th grade teacher in 6th grade. This has been the case for all 6 years that we've run the program. We've had enough students to make a 6th grade class, even with the way with redistricting and everything or boundaries and everything like that through Ray Farms, we've still had enough to have 25 students. The math 1 is going to be taught by a 6th grade teacher in 6th grade. This is a high school course, okay? The final grade goes on the transcript, but is not a part of the GPA. So if your kid gets an A or a B, it goes on the transcript, but they're not getting that 4.5 credit or that 4.0 credit, anything like that. There is a midterm and an end of course test. The EOC is provided by the state, and it counts as 20% of their final grade. Here's the big thing that we need you to understand. Once your student is on that math 1 path, it is very difficult for them to get off, right? The state will not allow us to have them do math 1 and then math 1 again, unless your student is failing math 1. However, we don't want your student getting placed into math 1 through, getting a side tutor and focusing only on this for the next month. And then they get to 6th grade. And then now suddenly they realizing it's too rigorous, it's too fast. They're not ready, right? Once they get on that path, it's really difficult for your student to get off. What usually ends up happening, and I've had a couple of students do this in the high school, they'll have to go math 1, 2, and 3 in the middle school, and then they'll do something like math 4 honors their freshman year, and then maybe pre-calc, and then now they're calc 1, and now they're essentially just where they would have been if they would have just stayed and done math 1 maybe 7th grade year or 8th grade year. But by speeding it up too much, your student now isn't loving the math and kind of feels bad about themselves with math when they might have just not been ready, right? So we want to stress that we're trying to find the appropriate math for your student. That means if your kid loves math, really wants the challenge and enjoys the subject, this is a group for them. If this is something that is something either their friends are in and they want to do it, or family is trying to push them into it, that is not an appropriate choice for your child. Wait until the next year and maybe take math one in 7th grade or even in 8th grade. Okay. So a question we often get asked, does this mean my student is taking 3 to 4 years of math in 1 year, right? Math one is a high school course. Does that mean we're trying to cram 3 years into one? The answer is no, right? The curriculum gets realigned. Standards that go into 6th grade are also taught in with math one. When they get into 8th or 7th grade, they'll get 7th grade standards and math two, and then 8th grade standards and math three, right? Everything is aligned to make that work. Math 7 honors follows the Math 7 honors pacing, and Math 1 follows the Math 1 pacing. Because your students are able to do the Math 1 curriculum at an earlier age, or the Math 7 honors curriculum at an earlier age, the teachers are able to go a little bit faster and find spots where that Math 6 curriculum is appropriate for them to insert. And sometimes that's prereqs of a lesson, sometimes it's its own mini lessons, right? So let's look at the math path for your students, right? If they're in Math 6 honors, or if they're in Math 1 as a 6th grader, they're going to be covering 6th grade math and Math 1. I pretty much covered all this as we're going through it. Math 7 honors, you'll see 6 and 7 honors, Math 7 with geometry and stats in Math 1, and then Math 8 geometry and Math 2, right? So really what I just talked about a minute ago. So how do I determine if this is for my child, right? These are the big questions you want to ask yourself. Is your child academically ready, right? Are they scoring in the high A's? Is their MAP test scores off the chart, right? We're not even talking necessarily 95th percentile. We're talking 97th plus percentile, right? We're talking about students with, 95 pluses as their math average historically, okay? That's part of it. The other issue is your child emotionally ready? Do they have that level of maturity, right? Do they have that work ethic? Has homework ever been a problem for them? Do they like going the extra mile to understand things? Okay. We don't want to push someone who might be quote unquote academically gifted, AIG label, whatever you want to say, and they end up not wanting to do any work and they've kind of just been skating by with just general intelligence. That's not who we're looking for in Math 1 in 6th grade. Okay. Some of my best students I've had in Math 1 weren't even AIG kids, and they were able to do it based on work ethic, want, and drive of the understanding. Okay. So let's keep going. So let's talk about academically ready. Does your child consistently perform above the 90th percentile on their MAPs and EOGs? Does your child consistently make A's on math tests? Does your child enjoy math and strive to learn more? And do they seem bored in math or complain something's too easy? Maybe even if they're getting pulled for extensions, they're still saying that that's too easy, right? If your answer is yes to 3 out of 4, your child is academically ready to consider accelerated math placement. Are they emotionally maturity ready? Do they consistently turn assignments in on time? Do your children enjoy being challenged by math class? Do they have appropriate time management? That's always huge, right? Are they rushing to get something done at the last minute, or are they getting assignments done as we go? Does your child know how to advocate for themselves? Are they willing to ask questions and say, I don't understand something. Can you help me? Can you explain that another way? Right? Does your child want to try advanced math? That is in bold because that is huge. This cannot be a parent decision. This needs to be a child decision, right? If you answer 3 out of 5, your child could be emotionally ready for advanced math. Please be aware this decision is made by the family. Just because they're academically ready might not mean they're emotionally maturity ready. Okay. We've had students before where they might even place in, but a parent will say, I know my kid, they're not ready. I wouldn't feel comfortable having them go this quickly. Maybe we'll just choose Math 7 honors, even if they made it into Math 1, or they'll do Math 6 honors instead of going to Math 7, right? They just wanted the opportunity. That's perfectly fine. Okay, so let's review how Math Club and accelerated placement works. So we're going to have about 9 weeks of meeting. It is going to be from 7:15 to 8 on Tuesdays via Zoom, starting February 6th. That is next Tuesday. I need your help because what happens every time is when we do this math club, we start it up and I have parents, students that somehow the email gets lost. They didn't see it on Parent Square, or they thought it was starting next month or something along those lines, and they were not able to join the club. And they don't join until about halfway through. That's a problem for the student. That's a problem for us. That's a problem for everyone. So if you know someone who is considering this, have them start at that week one. If you are someone, especially from Charles Parker, or you're a school that is not zoned for community house, but you're going to be going to community house, please spread the word for other families that you know are going to be going to community house next year. Okay, I know we sent it out to Hawk Ridge, Ballantyne, and Elon Park. Those are the main feeder schools that I know. Charles H. Parker, we don't have like a clear pipeline of who exactly is zoned for us, right? So please help me to share that information with families. Okay. All lessons are going to be on YouTube and recorded. You can actually find all the lessons, the generic lessons for the full 9 weeks already on YouTube. I'm going to record the lessons we do each week so students can watch back, but there is a supplemental lesson that students can also watch. These lessons are not let's say like completely new compared to what's going on that week. They're essentially just me working out different problems of the same topic. Okay, so if your students there for the live session, they might not need the video, but it's always good to kind of have that extra set of problems, extra practice, whatever you want to help prepare your students. Here are the topics we're going to cover: equations with variables on both sides, literal equations and cross products, slope, comparing rates of change, slope-intercept form, comparing lines, monomial power rules, functions, and function notation. A big focus of this is linear equations and solving equations, as well as comparing linear equations, right? Talking about those real world scenarios and being able to understand what slopes mean and what the y-intercepts mean, and going from there, right? That's huge for us. Can I share the video? Yeah, I'll share the link after. The links for all the videos are also in the Canvas site already. So as soon as your child enrolls for the Canvas site, they will have access to links for all the videos and extra practice. Okay. We do not expect your child to learn and understand the ins and outs of these concepts completely, right? If you look back at all these topics covered, all of these topics will again be covered when they get into Math 1. Okay, so understand that this is the one time they see it and they need to know it perfectly going into Math 1, right? That is not how this works. We're trying to see how much can your student pick up in a quick amount of time, right? How quickly can they pick up these new math concepts and apply them? Okay, so here are math paths for your student. We always get asked, okay, if I have my kid in Math 1 in 6th grade, what does that look like for the rest of their academic career? Okay, so we're finishing Math 3 in 8th grade. 9th grade, now this is AP pre-calc, right? It's not just pre-calc anymore. Now it's advanced placement pre-calc. 10th grade, they can do AP ABBC or AP AB. Now, I'm a little biased for the AP AB because that's what I teach over at Audrey Kell, but that is a full year long course, just like your students are used to in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And because we have that full year, we get a very deep conceptual understanding of what the calculus means and the topics, right? ABBC is going to be very rigorous and very quick paced because they have to cover so much material in a short amount of time. By putting your student in Math 1 in 6th grade, they kind of have that luxury of being able to take that AB in 1 year and kind of get that really deep, rich understanding over a full year and have that kind of foundational setup for them to have success for the rest of their STEM classes they're going to take, right? So a lot of our students who are doing Math 1 in 6th grade end up being STEM majors. So getting that full year to take calculus and really understand it can be very helpful for them. 11th grade year, they can take AP Stats or BC for Calc. And then in 12th grade, they're either doing community college, maybe online classes through NCSSM, or they're doing stats, right? So if you wanted to do the route, you could go 1, 2, 3 in middle school, pre-calc 9th grade, AB in 10th grade, BC in 11th grade, and stats their 12th grade year. At some point, if they want to double up, whether it be ABBC or BC in stats, they have the ability to do that. If your student takes Math 7 honors in 6th grade, that means they're going to get through Math 2 by 8th grade. In 9th grade, they're going to get through Math 3. 10th grade is pre-calc. And then 11th grade, it looks very similar here. We're doing ABBC or AB Calc. And then 12th grade, they're able to do stats and BC or just stats. Either one works, okay? Regardless, your child will not run out of math if they would like to do math at the high school. A lot of our students will also try to do that dual enrollment and do some classes through community college. Due to Audrey Kell and other high schools, they now have Calc 3 and linear algebra at the community college that some of our students take. So let's talk about expectations. Students need to arrive on time and leave on time. Ask questions to students or to the teacher and student helpers. I have many students who've gone through this program and they come and help moderate questions and answer questions for students on the side chat as we're going through, right? So please understand, it's not just me and 100 kids. It's me, about 15 helpers, and your 80 kids, right? So we do have kind of like a under 1 to 10 ratio in terms of answering questions, and all of them will be answered, right? I've been doing this for about 6+ years now, I think. It's either 5 or 6 years. And so I've kind of gotten it down in terms of being able to respond and answer questions and do everything with the aid of these student helpers. So please make sure your kids are asking. The biggest piece that we need to do is make sure we're doing the extra practice at home. If your child only stays for these 45-minute classes and does not ask extra questions, they're not going to succeed, right? They need to be watching extra videos, maybe the extra videos I make, maybe stuff through Khan Academy or just searching on YouTube. And they need to really do the practice. There's extra homework sheets each week to prepare students. The one thing we need to make sure you understand is that we are still looking at their 5th grade. We're still looking at their 5th grade grades in general in math. So you can't just suddenly stop doing your elementary math and only start doing Math 1 prep, right? That's going to look bad on your grades. It's going to look bad on your EOG scores and your MAP scores. So please make sure you understand this is in addition to whatever work you're doing at your elementary school. Okay? All right. What can/should you do with your child? Talk with your child about whether or not they're interested in taking accelerated math above the honors levels. If you start the process, have frequent conversations with them about how they feel about the club. It's important that parents gauge your students' emotional response. If they're starting to feel bad at math, we can do this later, right? We don't want to overwhelm our students and make them feel they're quote unquote bad at math when we're trying to advance them a potential 3 years, right? That's a lot of advancement in a short amount of time. So please make sure, we want your students to love math no matter what. And we want them to make sure they feel comfortable with this. You are going to have, it is going to be challenging. It is going to be rigorous. It is going to be fast paced, right? So make sure your student understands that, but please also have those conversations. If it feels too much, let's wait, right? We want your student to love math. We want your kid to have a good time. And are there going to be some uncomfortable times with this? Yeah, that's going to be part of the growth process, but it shouldn't be the only feeling they're having, right? Help them do the extra homework practice. I'm not going to be grading the homework in any way. A lot of these worksheets will have answer keys, so you can check along with them. They can also email me questions as they go. I love students that email me questions and want things explained, but understand in that 45-minute time, we don't have enough time to answer those questions, okay? Encourage them to reach out and ask questions as needed. Please reassure them that this is just for fun and this is used to determine their best math placement, not to get it into Math 1, right? Best math placement is key. So, stuff we need you to mark on your calendar. 1, the test date is Saturday, April 13th. This is in the morning, probably sometime around 9 o'clock, 9 to 1, something along those lines. Okay. This is currently going to be in person on a computer. The reason we do in person on a computer is so that way we have the ability to grade it. We can store your scores really easily, and it makes it easy on everyone. We don't have to worry about like, oh, we misgraded a question. Everything happens, and we get those scores back very quickly. They're able to use a calculator. Is approximately 25 to 30 minutes. A little over an hour in terms of how long the test is. Okay. Any question? I think we're pretty much at the end of this. I want to make sure, in case I need to upgrade to Pro or something like that, so we don't run out of time. Here's the piece I need to make sure we understand. 1, yeah, 90 minutes for the test. Thank you, Miss Weiss. For those of you wondering, Miss Weiss is the math facilitator over at Community House. For some reason, I don't have cool Zoom that lets me make her a co-host, but she is the person on the ground at Community House that is helping. Will there be classes during spring break? No. I'm not doing that one. I appreciate it though. I think the kids appreciate that nice break right before spring break as well. Yep. All right. So, any questions? Do they need to get to the school Chromebook for testing on the 13th? Yeah, so we've had that issue before where they have had their own Chromebooks at the school. We are requesting, and we've done this before, where we'll request them to check it out for that week or that weekend. That hasn't been a problem in the past. They are able to use other devices. It doesn't have to be a school Chromebook, but we're trying to see if they can check that out. Can you go back and edit your Google form? You didn't have your math score. You should be able to. If not, just fill it out again. Can any 5th grader, regardless of MAP and EOC, attend the placement classes next week? Definitely. Yeah, anyone. The group is open, right? This group that meets weekly is open for anyone. We want to provide the opportunity no matter where your student is. Maybe you know already, hey, my kid might try to take Math 1 in 7th grade. I just want to see where we're starting out. That's perfectly fine. Definitely. Yeah, we just want to make sure your kid's in the appropriate math placement. That's the biggest piece. Will the test be held in Community House? In Community House. That's correct. The test is at Community House, not at their current elementary school. Yeah, that would be a bit of a nightmare, just trying to administer all that. So we get them all in one spot. Okay. Any other questions? Anything else I can answer? Current math average, we're just looking for grade, like a percentage grade. Where can you find this recorded session? It is going to be on, I will post a video in the Canvas page. It will be on YouTube. Let's see, what else? TI graphing calculators are allowed. That's right. Also, I hope you all have my email as well. It's just tyler1.herb@cms.k12.nc.us. If you have any other questions, please feel free to email me and I would love to answer those for you. Okay, we have about 4 minutes left. All I really have left is answering questions. But thank you so much for coming and being interested and wanting to provide your students with this math opportunity. I'm always here to help in any way. If you need anything, please reach out. Otherwise, that's all I have. And here's my email in the chat. Yeah, the info for the times, etc., is yeah, that'll be on the Canvas page. Yep. All right, everyone. Have a great night. Thank you so much for coming.
Do we have a scores?
I cannot hear you. I'm sorry. If you throw it in chat, I'll probably be able to hear you there.
Mr. Erb,
Yes,
sorry,
ma'am.
just have a quick question.
Yeah, go for
before I
it.
leave. So just a confirmation, I know you said the email, or sorry, you said the time will be out. Is there gonna be like a Parent Square email sent with the time?
So we
The
don't
exact
have
time
the
for the
ability to
test?
parent square because you're not in our school, is my understanding. I will send emails via Canvas, and all the times will be posted on Canvas. The times will also be on the CHMS math page with the exact date of the exact date and time for the actual placement test. But I can tell you right now, the Zoom sessions will be at 7:15 on Tuesdays, and that link is already posted in the on the Canvas page, and that'll be starting on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, okay, perfect. Is that
Yep.
also on your website as well, the CMHS website that you mentioned? Is that pretty up to date?
That isn't up to date yet, but it will be by before Tuesday. I can promise you that much.
Okay, wonderful. That's great. Yeah, because I'm just trying to figure out, we'll have to figure some things out actually, just because he's got scouts too from 6:30 to
Yep, and that's
7:30.
why everything's recorded
Perfect.
weekly, and also you can get the videos ahead of time.
Okay, wonderful.
Hi.
And then one quick confirmation. So I think that I think I filled out the form as soon as we saw Parent Square last week.
Yep.
We
They
filled
should have
out the
gotten added
form.
today, and if not, check tomorrow. You'll see something in Canvas. So if your
Okay.
student was already added to Canvas, if they already filled out the form, they should be
Okay.
added to Canvas, log into Canvas. If not, within the next day or two, they will be.
Got it. So where does he go on Canvas? I mean, he's on Canvas now, so I'm just trying to figure out where does
Go
he
to
go
courses,
check
and you should be able to add it there or get an email from me.
courses.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
want to follow up on the same thing. I think we submitted the form like
Mhm.
a few minutes ago or before this meeting. So
Yep. So
you will
Miss
add it.
Lee says under courses and navigation on the left, and I'll add a lot more students as we go as well. Yeah. So
Thank
just
you.
understand probably tomorrow, I'll start adding more students as well. If you don't see them added by, let's say Monday, please reach out and we'll make sure that that's fixed. Okay.
All
We
right.
got
Thank
1
you so
minute.
much, Mr. Erb. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, if we don't get a chance to answer your question, please feel free to email and I'd love to answer it for you. Thank you so much, everyone.